Thanks, everybody. We'll ask Coach Smart for a few opening comments on the game, then we'll take your questions. Coach Smart?
Yeah, well, I certainly didn't expect it to go that way. Didn't start the way we needed to. We got to show a lot of improvement in a lot of areas, and just disappointed in our start to the game. You know, anytime you spot somebody 7, it's not good. Gave up some explosive on defense. But the positive was we didn't blink. We got a very emotional team, and I thought in the locker room there were a lot of emotions shown. And, you know, Tennessee's got a good football team. I got a lot of respect for Jeremy, his staff, how hard his kids play, how physical they play. They play a really good brand of football, as we do too. And, you know, we've got to improve in our ability to execute and play with discipline and composure. And we didn't do that at all times today. And a couple costly decisions there. 4th and 1, didn't get it. They turn around and score the very next play. And then the touchdown for the half, leaving one out there, which could have been a huge backbreaker for them. Instead, it gives them huge momentum. So with that, I'll open it up.
All right, let's take questions. I'll go 2 at a time. Let's start with Anthony Dasher and then Chip Towers.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned that, the team was able to kind of answer the adversity, I guess you want to call it that, at halftime. I mean, is that something you've just kind of seen build throughout this team, throughout practice, to see, hey, I've got a team that's able to do that?
Well, I think we're a well-conditioned team, and I think our team has taken pride in the conditioning level. I think we've got a team that adjusts well. So if somebody's giving us trouble with something, we have answers. You know, we don't just continue to do the same thing if we're struggling with things. So I'm proud of the effort they came out with in the second half, the momentum the defense created, but we're not functioning, we're not executing at a high level, and that can cause problems. That's special teams, that's defensive execution on fastball exchanges, that's offensively getting lined up, getting in a formation and getting a call, and that can be costly if you play a team that can capitalize on it.
Chip Towers?
Coach, I just got to ask you about the 2 4th and short calls. Obviously retrospectively, I was surprised you went for them at the time. I just can you just address those and obviously the defense played great to make it all stand up.
Yeah, Chip. If you don't go for it on 4th and 1 at the goal, what are you telling your team? I mean, really, that decision was made long ago. So 4th and inside the 1 on the last play of the half, that decision was made for me probably 20 years ago. It's just who I am, what I believe, and philosophically, I don't really care what the score is. That's just what I believe.
Let's go to Dean Legge and then Mark Weiser.
Right on top of that, Kirby, I want to ask you about your appetite for risk. You said you developed this over the last 20 years. Have there been moments in your coaching career that you said, hey, listen, sometimes you just have to go for it whether you make it or not?
I wouldn't say that. It's not. I don't look at it. You look at 4th and 1 as appetite as risk. I don't. I look at it as law of percentages. Say you're going to make more than you don't. And that's disappointing. We didn't. I'm probably more frustrated with the other one, the first one there, where we tried to hard count them and draw them off and didn't get it. But I still feel like with our offensive line, we should be able to get a foot. They did. They did against a pretty good defensive line. They got a foot. They got a foot twice. I feel like we should be able to do that, and we didn't execute it, so that falls on me. So I'm not second-guessing the decision. I leave that to you guys. If I could go out there again today, I'd do it again. I'd do it again. I'd do it until I couldn't do it anymore unless somebody could guarantee me we weren't going to make it.
Mark Weiser?
Hey, Kirby, I want to ask you about Lesney in terms of his range. When did you all know, in the preseason that he had the leg that he does? I mean, or did you already know that before the season?
No, we kicked more field goals this year, Mark, than I've ever kicked in my entire life. We kicked so many field goals, I got sick of kicking field goals. So I knew what he could do because we had the longest field goal competition I've ever seen in my life. And he won that competition. So like I told you all a long time ago, he was tried and tested and battle tested long before he ever hit that field. So he's got a strong leg. I would appreciate it if he could keep his kickoffs in bounds, because that's a killer. But he made up for it after the dumb penalty we had when he kicked it deep right and put it in the end zone. That was a huge play in the game.
Let's go to Jake Rowe and then Jed May.
Hey, Kirby, I wanted to ask you about that little exchange there at the end of the first half. Sorry, not in the first half, the start of the second half. Your defense comes up with two massive plays. Offense kind of goes in reverse more than anything. What was kind of your thinking there? Your message, was it just kind of a keep chopping thing, or was it, kind of a shake your head type moment? How did you look at that, and how did you, talk to the team about it?
Well, I didn't talk to the team about it. I talked to the offense about it. I was just disappointed. I told the team after the game, we come out, gain all momentum back, and then we let them get momentum back by holding us to a field goal. Got a chance to put somebody away. That's what good teams do, man. They get momentum and they just run with it. And we didn't do that. We didn't execute well. We couldn't run the ball in those series. We're trying to wear them down, run the ball a little bit. Couldn't do that. We just didn't execute. We actually self-destructed, went backwards like you referenced. Offensive pass interference, holding, chop, I don't even remember what they were. It just was not in forward. It was in reverse. And, that's not what good teams do. And we can be a really good team offensively. We can, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot.
Hey, Kirby, staying on that second half theme, what did you see change for the defense coming out of the locker room? And what is it about that group that, could sort of allow them to take over a game sometimes after halftime?
Well, we executed better. We made some changes at halftime. Coach Chaney was doing a good job. I mean, look, guys, it wasn't like they were dominating the first half, okay? I'll look at it play by play. All right, we snap one over the head and give them 7. All right, they're not running the ball real well. They throw a deep touchdown pass after a bad call by me on 4th and 1, so they hit another touchdown. Okay, then they beat a guy, and they were one-on-one out there on the outside, and it was a 50-50 ball that we lost, and the receiver made a hell of a play, and the quarterback made a hell of a throw. Sometimes you give them credit for what they threw, and it was not a lack of execution. It wasn't a lack of toughness. It wasn't a lack of pressure. It was a good throw, a good catch. And, halftime we just talked and said, hey, let's do something different. Let's maybe not let them, take that risk and throw it over our head, because that may be their only chance to win. And we did a better job in the second half.
Let's go to Seth Emerson and then Paul Newberry.
Kirby, for the offense, should you look at it as there's a rhythm to the play calling the whole game? The idea is, you have a pretty good defense, so you don't want to score, or you don't need to score a touchdown every drive. You finish strong the way you guys have. Or do you look at it as it's concerning because the defense may not do what they do or what they've done today in Arkansas and Auburn?
No, I don't. I mean, I play complementary football, so I want to score every time we get the ball. I don't want to be conservative and kick field goals. There's several of those field goals I would have loved to have gone for it if it was 4th and 1 or 2, but they were long. They were 4th and 8, 4th and 9, 3rd and 30 or something. You don't function that way. So I don't look at it as, we're going to play behind our defense. If I was going to play behind the defense, I'd kick a field goal on 4th and 1 before the half. I look at it as we need 7, and to be the team we want to be, we need to be explosive offensively. And in order to get where we need to be offensively, we have to improve. We have to improve. People are going to score points in college football, guys. They're too good. The really good teams, they score points. And defensively, hopefully we can continue to get better. Offensively, hopefully our guys will buy into, if they do the little things right, they can be good.
Kirby, you talk about the defense. I know you don't like to compare from year to year, but how good is this unit, and what stands out about them to you?
Well, what stands out is they have a camaraderie about them. They take pride in being good, and they don't have a bunch of prima donnas. Everybody puts sweat in the bucket, and there's a lot of guys contributing on defense. So the atmosphere that's created on defense here is just we're not letting them score. We're not going to let them in, and they hold everybody accountable. And hey, they did score today. They scored 2 touchdowns, but at the end of the day, they were really good throws against pretty good corners.
Okay, let's go to Mike Griffith and then Augusta Stone. Mike, unmute.
There we go. Yeah, Coach, you just talked about the identity and the character on the deep. Why can't your offense play with that same sort of identity and pride and character?
I think they do. I don't think our offense executes. I don't think our offense doesn't play with pride and character. I mean, the pride and character that we had, they had 10 in the box to end the game, and we ran the ball down their throat. That was some pride and character. They had more guys than we can block, 2 more than we could block, and we still blocked them and ran the ball. I mean, I think they do play with pride and character. I don't think we execute well right now offensively. We have everybody playing in a new offense, but we have several freshmen trying to get experience, and they make mistakes, but they make plays. You know, Jermaine Burton makes a bonehead mistake today, but then he turns around and has a 43-yard run. So, I mean, we're trying to develop explosiveness, execution at a high level, and hey, maybe you give Tennessee some credit too, because, you know, I think they played to not give up big plays in the game, and they did that.
Hey, Kirby. Touching on a lot of different guys involved tonight in the offense, was that, part of the game plan? And what can you say for the guys like Harris who got his first touchdown, and like Trey who got his first reception to Georgia?
Yeah, you take what the defense gives you. They played a lot of split safety coverages, and we see a lot of split safety coverages, especially with George out there. So when you get that, you got to take what they give you, and you got to play to your strength. Which, if they're going to be in split safety, we got to be able to run the ball. And hey, if they're going to play split safety, we got to hit some things down the middle. And I thought we were able to do some of that today. We just shot ourselves in the foot some drives.
All right, how about let's go to Jeff Schultz and then Allison Mastrangelo.
Kirby, I was just wondering if you take anything from the fact that everybody except for you and as of now Alabama has lost a game already in the SEC.
I didn't realize that. I don't take anything from it. I mean, it's brutal, man. I don't think I cannot give enough credit to what it's like to go play week in and week out in this league. It is something else. Because there's so many good football teams in our league, and it's so physical. And you used to get those. I mean, I hate to say it, it felt like a week off, but you don't. That is no more in the SEC with the schedule we got, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You know what I mean? Like I take pride in being in this conference because the brand of football. When you talk to NFL scouts and they call you and general managers, they're like, "Geez, it's like y'all's league is so different than so many of the others." So.
Smart, what in the past couple of games, Stetson said that he's definitely starting to feel more comfortable taking control of the offense. What have you seen from him that you've really liked, and what are some areas that you want him to improve going forward?
Well, I'd like to watch this tape to make that make that answer. I think he's getting better. He's definitely getting more confidence. He understands Coach Monken's system better and better of where his eyes need to be in his decision-making. He's made some plays with his feet. I would like to see him improve by sliding some and not taking the shot he took. But he's a competitor. He's always been that way, and we got to continue to help him and kind of play complementary football. We got guys running that can help him, but if we can't get lined up and execute at a high level, it makes it hard.
Let's go to Maria. Do you have a question? And then Mark Bradley, see if you have one.
Hey, Coach. You started by saying that this team is, an emotional team, and you want them to play with a little bit more discipline. How agitating is it for you to watch an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty go down, especially when it's someone as talented as Pickens?
That's just disappointing. It's silly behavior. It's immature. It's just like two guys running down to celebrate with Jalen Carter. I mean, that cost us a Tennessee game already once. I mean, what are we thinking? We show that once a year to talk about when your buddy scores, celebrate on the sideline with him. When somebody comes out of bounds and you squirt water at them, what are we? Are we 7, 8 years old? I mean, come on. Let's play football. Let's don't be silly.
Mark Bradley, do you have a question?
No, but I do have an observation. Kirby, I would have gone for it on 4th down at the end of the half, just so you don't think.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. I want you to know that analytics would have absolutely slaughtered me for kicking a field goal to a chance to get 7 over 3. That is, especially in a game that was shaping up to be high scoring. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Now they might not agree with me on the 4th and 1 and the other part of the field. I know my dad will be mad at me for that. Punt the ball, play defense, but got suckered into that one.
All right, we got just a couple more minutes here. Anybody want to jump in?
Hey, with Alabama next week, how quickly do you and your staff sort of turn your attention to them even after coming off a pretty big win over Tennessee?
Same as we always do. I mean, I'll be up first thing in the morning, watch this tape, figure out how we can get better. You know, a lot of people brush this game off and try to go to the next one. You can't do that because what are they going to watch all week? They're going to watch our tape deeper than we're going to watch our tape. You know, when you go in and just watch tape and move on, they're watching your tape Sunday to Friday. So you better watch it and try to anticipate what they're going to see.
Hey, Kirby, I wanted to ask you about Kendall Milton and his performance. What type of growth have you seen in him over the last few weeks?
I see our guys bounce off of him. You know, he runs against our defense, and it's like nobody's really fired up about tackling him. And I keep thinking, well, it won't be that way in the game, but it is. People bounce off of him, and he's physical, he's tough. The thing is, he takes some shots because he's tall, you know, and he takes some shots, and he's got to keep getting his pads down. He's got to protect the ball better. But, I mean, I think we all saw that one run. He took 2 hits, and they were ready to blow the whistle, and he got 7 more yards after the 2 hits. And, you know, he's probably one of the, you know, the type backs that he gets better as he gets more carries, and we got to do a good job of trying to balance that out. But, I mean, ultimately, he's got to protect the ball. I mean, he's got a target on his chest now where he's got to protect the ball.
Last question, please.
Coach Smart, it seems like Stetson, to the untrained eye and somebody who's not involved in your, you know, offensive stuff, it seems like he's doing a really good job being able to work through progressions. How proud of you are him on that, and as with only 2 games as a starter, and the pass protection that goes with that?
Well, he's always been he understands coverage, so he knows where he's supposed to go with the ball, and he can work it across. Very similar to Jake. He got to watch Jake do that. Jake was really elite at that. So those things, he is advanced at that. I think the little things of changing the protection, you know, looking at what play, somebody disguising the coverage well. I mean, he's growing in regards to the way he handles that. You know, he can't hold the ball for a long time when we're in certain protections. He can't hold the ball. He held the ball kind of early on one of the 3rd downs. I think we took a sack on it, but he's got to protect the ball. That's a big part for him, is giving our defense a chance to go out there and play by protecting it. But I am proud of his growth. I'm proud of his execution, his ability to get us lined up and distribute the ball. I mean, the one thing he's done is spray it around a little bit. Thank you, guys.
Mark, thank you. Thanks, everybody. And for those of you, you can stay on this link for the